yeah, just drop in the chat. What would you do if you knew that you were supported? And this is an exercise where you give yourself permission to dream. This is a process of really letting yourself dream big without the constraints of, that inner critic saying, oh, you shouldn't want so much, or be realistic, or that's not possible, or blah, 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 blah. This is just a thought experiment. If I could do anything, what would it look like? What would my path look like if I knew that I had all the support that I needed to do that? No snow where you are, Jeff. Good. Later. So there's also a journaling exercise that's similar where you journal what would a day look like in your ideal life if you could, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, if you could live anywhere, do anything, work with any kind of people, what would that look like? And so a lot of the time we don't give ourselves, or I know definitely have been someone who hasn't given myself permission to really dream about what I actually want, about what I really want to do, about who I really want to serve. And I've let my mind stop me from dreaming big. And so the thing with that is if we don't give ourselves permission to dream really, really big, then we're never going to kind of shoot for what we really, really want. Something really, really grand, or maybe it's simple, and that's totally fine too. But if you give yourself permission to dream about what you really want, that's the beginning of opening up a window, if you will, into that reality. Because all of these possible realities exists before us. We have free will. Every moment we're making decisions. Every time we make a decision, we open up one reality and we close another. So we're always in this process of deciding and creating through the decisions that we make. So decisions look like taking certain actions or not taking certain actions. Decisions look like, for me, it's often looked like, all right, I'm going to do the inner work to move through things that are stopping me, or I'm going to unconsciously avoid it until it piles up, and then I'm going to do it. So every moment we're making a decision, and that decision has creates ripples out in our world and guides us to the reality of our choosing, whether we're choosing it consciously or unconsciously. We're always choosing. And we're in control of that, especially when we bring the unconscious into our conscious awareness. Because a lot of the time we operate in an unconscious level. What do I mean by that? So I'm talking about blocks to abundance here today. And when there is a block, it can look like um, something that happened many years ago when we were a kid, when we were very young. And for abundance, for example, we could have heard from our parents or from somebody else, money doesn't grow on trees. We don't have enough of it. There's never enough of it. And when we're young, we're little sponges and we don't yet discern. And just we absorb everything as fact into our subconscious minds. And those stories are continuing to run in our subconscious. And so we subconsciously believe a certain thing and we make decisions based on that being our reality. So if I believe there's never enough money, my mind will create situations in my life where that continues to be my truth. Einstein had said, famously said, you can tell a lot about someone by asking them, is the world a friendly place? And their answer is going to tell you so much about who they are and how they experience life. Because if you believe the world is a friendly place, then the decisions that you make and the energy that you bring, the frequency that you have based on your beliefs, based on your energy, is going to lead you to others with a similar frequency in a similar space. So you're going to find you're going to be an energetic match to the world as a friendly place. You're going to be an energetic match to those who are friendly in this world. Same goes for the opposite. If you believe that the world is a dangerous place, then you're going to see that in the world. We certainly see enough of it in the news. We know the news intentionally selects things that are fear-based because it gets views. So we are programmed in our mind to stay alive, and so the mind is looking for things to be afraid of. So it takes intentionality to move us into the other states of frequency. Jeff, you'd be helping people and animals find freedom and peace. Beautiful. I love that. And so, let me see. So, a lot of what we do, a lot of what we encounter with these blocks to finding abundance. So, if you haven't created things in your life that you want to see, if you're finding it difficult to manifest things, and what is manifesting? That's just simply a process of creating. We are always creating through our beliefs, through our decisions, through our energy. And sometimes when we're worrying, we're creating things that we don't want because our thoughts have an electromagnetic energy that goes out into the world. And for the law of attraction, it creates a frequency. And so we're telling the universe, oh my God, this, I'm playing this in my mind. Your body believes that's happening as truth in the moment. So it's creating fear, it's affecting your nervous system. And the universe is hearing that. It's like, okay, more dangerous people, more fear, more, it's difficult to make money. There's never enough of it. You have to sell your soul to make money. Rich people are bad, all of these things. So, what we believe guides our frequency, which guides what we put out into the universe, and what gets returned back to us. So, how do we change that? It's something that I've heard that I really love called your frequency is your currency. I'll say that again. Your frequency is your currency when it comes to manifesting and creating things in your life. So that means that the energy that you're vibrating in, and your energy is governed by the thoughts that you think, by the emotions that you feel, and by your overall state of energy. And if your frequency is an energetic match for what you're wanting to create in your life, it's going to be a lot easier to create that. But if it's not, it's going to be a lot slower of a process. It's going to be a lot harder. And so a lot of people in the world will think of something that they want, they'll see something they desire. So I want to have a beautiful home. I want to own my own beautiful home, for example. And they go about, okay, well, how do I need to do? I need to make more money. Okay, I need to make more money. I need to get a promotion at work. Okay, get a promotion at work. I'm going to work really, really, really hard so that I get noticed and I can ask for promotion. And so this process can take a very long time. It can involve a lot of grinding and pushing and trying to move through things that are dense and heavy, and it can be a very arduous and long and exhausting process. And this is how most of the world does things. There's another way though. The other option is, okay, I want to have a beautiful home. Okay, great. I can see it in my mind's eye. I can feel what it's like to have that. I can feel what it's like to be in the space. I can feel what the home feels like. And allowing that energy to come into your body, to come into your frequency. And then as you do that, you know what that energetic match is. So it's a matter of continuing to be that energetic match to magnetize what you want to yourself. Now, simply just saying, just be an energetic match is one thing, and doing it is another thing. It can be really hard to maintain that if that's really different from your usual state. So, for example, for me, I was wanting, to create something, but I was struggling with chronic illness and I was exhausted all the time. And I was kind of angry about it, to be honest with you. I was angry that I was exhausted and I wanted my life to be different. I was trying to create a different life. I was trying to focus on manifesting these certain things in my life, these external things. And that came into my world, the awareness came into my world. Your frequency is your currency. So I started asking myself, am I an energetic match in my day-to-day life for what I want to create in my world? Well, I'm exhausted a lot of the time. I have chronic fatigue. I'm angry a lot of the time. So am I telling the universe that I have room for anything else? Not really. No. I really didn't have room for my existing life at the time. So it was really hard to manifest things. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of time. My energy was slow. It was heavy. It was weighed down. That's not a frequency that's moving quickly. It's a dense, slow frequency. So the slower your energy, the slower it's going to be to create things in your life. And so I had the realization, wait a minute, if I want these external things in my life, I'm going to have to deal with what's going on inside of me, what's causing me to feel tired, drained, dense, slow, angry, all of these things. And so I started doing healing sessions. I would go to bed at night. I would listen to an activation journey, a healing journey of finding things and healing and shifting and releasing them from my body, of connecting with my future vision, my higher self, of what it is I wanted to create and seeing it from this higher frequency state. of connecting with frequencies of gratitude and love, and shifting things from that place. And it's funny, like when I'm in a state of density, my ego, my mind will attach to, well, my body's just broken. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just the way it is, and that life's unfair, and it all sucks. But when I'm doing the work to shift and clear those things out of my body, out of my energetic field, out of my beliefs and my thoughts, miracles start happening. So I would do these healing sessions at night. I'd have these deep dreams where I would be processing all of these shifts that happened subconsciously so my mind could move through it and all of the levels of my being. And I'd wake up in the morning feeling amazing, and I would go about my day, and I would start thinking about things differently. I would start thinking about, all right, well, how can I create more abundance in my life? How can I serve of greater value? Who are the right people for me to serve? And I started shifting and doing things differently. And most importantly, my energetic frequency changed. I became an energetic match for what I wanted to create in my life. And it's through a process of, it can seem very counterintuitive to the mind, because the mind wants to fix things and looks at the material world for answers, but that's not where they are. The answers are inside. So as I release and clear fear and scarcity and blocks and density from my mind, from my body, from my energetic field, what's left over is my natural state. And when you do this, what's left over is your natural state, which is gratitude, which is love, which is light. That's just your natural way of being. So when you clear these things that weigh you down and make you angry and sad and tired, what's left over after that is you, which is naturally expansive, always growing, like everything in nature does, which is naturally free. We have free will to choose to be who we want to be when we bring the unconscious into the conscious. When we release what is hiding beneath the surface, we become aware, and then we are free to choose the life we want to create. So these blocks, like, what are they? Where do they come from? And how do we move through them? So I've talked a bit about how I moved through them. I'll go a bit more into that in a moment. But what are they? What is these things that are causing us to feel an invisible resistance, that are causing us to self-sabotage, that are causing us to hit a wall and find ourselves in these situations, maybe in relationships, maybe financially, maybe with our health, over and over and over again, to be stuck in a certain space where it seems like the same day over and over again. Why does that happen? And how the F do we change it? So why it happens. I'm gonna let my dog out, or he's gonna keep whining. One sec. He's 13 and he's very stubborn, and he just needs to get his way, and that's okay. I love him. So how do we change it? Like, what are these causes of the blocks? So they come from a few different areas. And at the end of the day, everything is made of energy. You are made of energy. All particles are made of energy. Thoughts are an energy. Emotions are an energy. Difficult experiences leave an energetic imprint on us, on our beliefs, on our bodies. All of these things are a form of energy. So these blocks that we encounter, this resistance that we can encounter, this feeling of being stuck, that is a form of energy. And that exists in the body. It exists in the beliefs we've formed about ourselves, about the way the world is, about others, about money, about our health, about our bodies. That is all a form of energy. I'm going to close my door. One sec. So, they come from a number of different places. One, they come from ancestry. So when you think about, for example, the energy of scarcity versus abundance, scarcity has been something that humans have lived through since the dawn of time. Being able to find food. It was a lot more life and death back then, being able to find food to survive. It still is for some people in other parts of the world. We were very blessed in the modern world where we don't usually have to worry about that for most of us. But it was a matter of life and death. I need to have enough food to survive. I need to be able to find shelter. I need to be accepted by my tribe so that I can stay alive. These were all things that were very, very important. And it is ingrained into our mind and into our DNA as this is survival. This is life or death. And so when we come into scarcity blocks around things like money, there's this ignition that happens of this trigger within our being, life or death. I need to survive. And that can be a very strong energy. And that's a very dense energy. It's very difficult for the nervous system, for the body. It's very difficult for the mind. It's very difficult for your whole being. It's also very difficult for manifesting abundance and creating the life you want. So if you're in a frequency of life or death, I don't know if I'm going to have enough, it's really hard to have any bandwidth to think about new ways of creating, new ways of abundance coming in, to think about the energy of receiving, to being an energetic match for abundance, for what you want, because abundance is there. There's lots of it in the world. There's plenty of money in the world. There's abundance in nature. Like, just go into a forest and look at the abundance of life that grows there. One tree as a seed that can have enough seeds to create a whole forest. So nature is abundant. You are abundant by nature. The cells in you, you have an abundance of cells that are intelligent and working together in harmony to create this body that you get to inhabit. So there's infinite access to nature and abundance in existence. It is how much we are open to it or closed to it. And there's no judgment here. This is just a natural, this is just a state that we've all been through, the state of being open or closed. And it's not something that we've chosen to be in when we access a fear state. This is something that becomes triggered because of our history. So even though we live in a very safe time for many of us, time that we are very cared for and taken care of, and you can think about all of these ways that you are cared for. The people who work at the grocery store for you, who can tend to the plants for you, who built the fridge to keep it cold, there's so many ways that we're cared for within society. Not every way, not everybody. There are, there are things we have to improve 100%. But I want your mind to also let that in. Like, I am so cared for. I have this shelter. I have this warmth. It's snowing outside, but I'm warm in a shelter. So when we access that trigger within, that scarcity wound, that's, a part of this world. The animals feel that I need to have enough food to survive. I need to have enough warmth to stay alive. It's in the soil. It's in the air. It's in our ancestral history. It's in our DNA. It's all around us. This energy that can get triggered, scarcity, shuts down the access, shuts down the flow of abundance, I should say, because you're naturally connected to that flow. It's always available to you. But when that trigger comes up, it shuts it down, creates this fear state, and then it can be really hard to move through that. It can be really hard to get past that to start creating the life you want, because we're in fight or flight. And that's really hard on the body as well. It's really hard on the nervous system, hard on the digestion. And when you're in that fight or flight, it's hard for the body to rest and digest, to heal. The body goes into a repair state when you're relaxed. But when you're not relaxed, when you're stressing consciously or subconsciously, maybe you're not consciously thinking that, maybe you're just feeling unease and you don't know why, you don't know what to do. Could be a number of different reasons. There's something unconsciously happening in the mind that's causing the body to be triggered, to be in a fear state. And so the most important thing to shift and create the life we want is not to push through well in that fear state. That's how we grind, and that's how we become burnt out. And I've been there, and it sucks, and it took years to crawl out of that. There's a better way. And so these energies, these blocks, they come from our ancestry, they come from our human history, they come through the DNA, they come in the collective energy in this world and the planet. They come through our beliefs. I don't have enough. I'm never going to have enough. All these kinds of thoughts that can come through that didn't start with you, by the way. They're just kind of floating through the atmosphere, floating in through from your ancestry line, maybe even from past lifetimes. These blocks, these thoughts come through, and then it gets triggered in your subconscious. It activates your nervous system. It activates your body. Your energetic match is that of scarcity. And so we want to break free of that. We want to break through that and move through that. And so how do you do that? And thanks, Erica. That's very kind of you to say. Nice having your energy here, connecting. I'm just going to read Irina's comment. I'm natural disposition is future looking. I find that at times I don't choose to slow down to witness myself and releasing the blocks. I'm finding this feeling like my mind and body are combating each other between if I need to move through the blocks or envision the ideal state to be a dreamer. Oh, that's a really great point. So everyone is talking about this balance of moving through the blocks or manifesting through dreaming and envisioning the future that you want to create. And I find that when you're manifesting, both are very important, having both. And you'll need different things at different times. So if it's hard to visualize, then it's time to do some clearing. If you've been clearing and you're like, I don't even know where I'm going, I don't even know what I want to do, I don't even know what's next, then it's time to connect in with your inner guidance and your inner vision and look at, where do I want to go, and let inspiration come into you. Let your future path wash into you. Let that frequency come in. So it's a balance of both clearing and envisioning what you want to create in your life. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about now, and clearing the blocks. How do we move through it? How do we clear it? So I've had, I'll try to, one more comment. Jeff's trying to live as is. You already have the prayer or desire you want and feel it as if it already exists and stay faithful to your vision. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. That's beautiful. So feeling as if what you want to create is already created and being grateful for that, being grateful for what you have, while being an energetic match for what you want to create. And so easier said than done at times. Who has done, I've done this where like, all right, I'm going to be an energetic match for what I want to create. Great, it's going great. I have this meditation. Awesome. I'm going to go about my day now. Oh, something really difficult happened. Oh, I'm overwhelmed. Oh, I'm stressed. Oh, my nervous system is activated. And then I spiral, and then the day gets really difficult. And then, wait a minute, I'm not an energetic match for what I want to create. So life happens. That's fine. Realizing that, going back to, okay, what am I grateful for in this moment? What do I want to create? But there's also something else that's happening beneath the surface that can make it more difficult to stay that energetic match. And those are the subconscious triggers. Those are the subconscious blocks that are happening through beliefs, through ancestry, through past lives, through the collective energy in the world. And it's these things that are beneath the surface hanging out with you. Don't even realize it most of the time. It's an unconscious process that's in your nervous system, it's in your body, in your energetic field, in your subconscious mind. And so you can be going about your day and everything's fine, and then something that happens that reminds you of something that's hiding beneath the surface, and then in that moment that thing beneath the surface is triggered, comes up, and you're in that moment living as if that is happening in your reality right now, until you can calm down and move through it and let it go. And so the key here is releasing the blocks that are beneath the surface. It is about shifting these things going on down here so that you can go about your day and you're not being activated with all of these things as they get reminded of what it felt like to be here. So maybe you have throughout in your history, in your genetic history, potato famine. That was a thing that happened in Europe. It was, very difficult. So maybe you have something that happens, something that reminds you of scarcity. There's a really huge bill. It gets triggered. Oh my God, I'm not going to have enough. I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage. I'm not going to be able to get enough groceries. This. Or maybe you have lots, but something happens that still reminds you of that. And even though you might have lots of money in the bank account, there's still this scarcity fear that gets triggered. And you can see this with people who are wealthy. You can have lots of money, but you can still have scarcity energy. You can still have a lot of fear around it. People who kind of like hold it really tightly and always feel they need more, like there's never enough. That can absolutely happen too. And that scarcity blocks them from being able to receive what they really already have through their nervous system, through their mind, understanding and processing the safety that they're in that moment, the resources they have access to, because there's a scarcity wound that's triggered, that's popping up every so often from beneath the surface, saying that you don't have enough, you're not safe. And so the key is it's not about trying to push that away, because what you resist will persist. What we push away is just trying to push away a part of ourself that's been wounded. And we can't do that for very long. Then we just become even more fragmented. So if there's a part of us that's been through a moment of not feeling safe, that part of us is scared. What they need is not to be pushed away. What that part needs is to be loved and reintegrated. And the energy that's been weighing on that part of us, the energy that's been weighing within us that causes us to feel heavy, angry, self sabotage, fearful, all those things, tired. It's about rapidly clearing that energy, the imprints of fear, of scarcity, of exhaustion, all of those kinds of things. That's an energy in your body, in your energetic field, and that can weigh you down. And so, one of the most efficient ways I found to move through this is not by grinding to change your life, it's by addressing these things beneath the surface and releasing those and letting those go and clearing them. And how do you do that? It can be a lot easier than you might think. It is a process of working with energy, with intention. I work with spirit. You can work with source, you can work with God, you can work with Allah, you can work with Mother Earth, whatever it is you connect with. But I work with spirit, I work with divine energy and my spirit guides. And it's a process of working within those quantum realms to rapidly release that stuck energy out of your field, out of your body. And we all have the capacity to do this. We are all spiritual beings, we are all energetic beings. So I wasn't born being able to see energy. I wasn't born talking to my spirit guides. I wasn't, a kid who was gifted in any of those ways. But I learned how to do that through training, through connecting with plants, with Mother Nature, through the decision to do that, through the desire to do that. So this is a part of us. It's an innate part of all of us. It's not something you have to be born gifted in. It's not the Harry Potter world where you have to be of a certain bloodline to be able to do magic. It doesn't work that way. We are all magical beings, and we all have the capacity to work within these quantum realms to rapidly shift and heal and transform things so that we can create what we want to create in this world, so we can follow the path that our soul set out for in this lifetime. I'm just going to read what Sam said. I can see and feel the things that I'm looking for, but I have this excitement / impatience and back and forth in my head of what I want to be doing. Like through all the dreaming, how do I know when to take action? That's a great question, Sam. So what I like to do is, it's great having the vision. It's great having excitement and lots of things that you want to create. So I would continue checking in with your guides, with your higher self each morning. So, you could write down all the things that you want to create, that you want to do. Get it out of your head, because that can weigh you down. If you're jumping from one thing to the next, that can create fragmentation in the mind. Write it all down. It gets it out of your head. It clears your thoughts. And then I would ask my higher self or my guides, what do I focus on next? And you could circle whatever you feel called to circle. You could write down something entirely different that might come through to you. But I would just break it down day by day. What's next? And the more you do this, the more you'll intuitively feel what's next and what to do next. But I would start with pen and paper, because that can really help to give things a sense of order and structure and get them out of your head, and just ask, what do I need to focus on today? And that's a great way of being really intentional and working with your higher self or your guides who have a higher perspective and are able to see much more. And maybe what guidance you're given to do that day is not what you would seem and wouldn't actually make sense to your mind, but maybe it is the most efficient path, but you just can't see why yet, but you will as you do it. Irina says, I have observed that scarcity feeling has taught me better boundary setting. Oh, great. When dealing with these triggers, I have asked that energy if it is mine. Beautiful. I love that. There have been a few times when it has not been mine. It had been a projection of my loved ones. Addressing the triggers, that questions of, is it mine, has been very helpful. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Irina. That is really great when it comes to other people's stuff, when it comes to the collective energy around us. And for all you empaths out there, which is, I think, pretty much everyone in this group, a lot of people that I work with, it is really essential. So when you are feeling triggered, the first thing that I like to ask, when you have the awareness, and if you don't, just give compassion to yourself. When you get triggered, your reasoning mind shuts down. And so maybe it's a little bit later and it's still kind of something that's sitting with you and bothering you, but you have more awareness now to ask yourself, is this mine? And when you ask yourself, you'll get a yes or a no. And don't let your mind try to jump in like, oh, blah, 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 all these stories. No, just quiet your mind. Is this mind? Wait for an answer. You'll get a yes or a no. And that's something you hear. It'll be a feeling. It'll be a knowing. It'll come through. Trust that. And so if it's a no, as like Irina is saying, simply say, simply let it go. And how I like to do that is by saying, okay, it's not mine. I'm sending it to wherever it belongs on its highest path. And as I do that, I'm lifting the energy off of me, and I'm guiding it out to where it belongs. Simple as that. And you'll feel it lift like that. If it doesn't, there's something you're holding on to and attaching to. So don't do that. If you're attaching to it, I release all of the ways I'm attaching to this, and I let that go into the light. And do the same thing, feeling the energy lifting up and off. This is a practice. The more you do it, the easier it will become. Jeff says, consider a block of gold. Each time it's melted, more impurities rise to the top to be removed. Great metaphor. Yeah, absolutely. That is a great metaphor. So as you move along your path, it brings up a really great point I wanted to talk about. Thank you, Jeff. As you move along your path, say you make a decision, say you decide, because that's the beginning of anything, is deciding. So when I wanted to change something in my life, I decide I'm going to learn how to be an intuitive healer. I decide I'm going to create something I want in my physical reality. I decide. And then from that decision, things begin changing. When you really decide and you're being, okay, I'm going to build wealth, then the universe is going to respond to that. Your energy is going to respond to that. And so maybe you make that decision. I'm going to build wealth because I want to change. I want to positively change my life and the lives of those around me. Great. Then all of these things start happening that make things way harder all of a sudden, or all of the stuff starts coming up, all of your fears and scarcity blocks around that starts coming up. And it's like, what the hell? I just said I want to build wealth. Why did all of this stuff get way worse and harder? That's because life is showing you, your unconscious mind is showing you, great, you want that? This is all the stuff that's been beneath the surface that's been stopping you from already having that. And it can feel like, why is this stuff all happening? I decided I wanted to change my life. That's why, because you need to clear that stuff. That's why. It's not some joke on you. It's not life being mean to you. It's life showing you, okay, great, you want to create that. This is what we got to move through. So let's move through it. So you're not meant to decide, feel all that stuff coming up, and then, you know what, I changed my mind. I don't actually want to do that. I'm going to go back over here. Because that's what is familiar. That's what's comfortable. That's the easy thing to do. But you know what? That's not going to change your life. What's going to change your life is dealing with the stuff that comes up. And that's the only thing. And it's this irony that the conscious mind your mind is here to protect you. It's here to keep you safe. It's not here to make you happy. And so your mind is going to protect you from things like discomfort as well. It's going to protect you from the unfamiliar, because the unfamiliar could be a danger, even if the unfamiliar is wealth that you want to create. So let me take a breath. Have a sip of water. So the mind will try to protect you from the discomfort of these things beneath the surface. And that's why they're beneath the surface. And there is value to that. Maybe you're not ready to process all of these things right away. And your mind does this brilliant job of compartmentalizing things so that you can function in your day-to-day life. And you think about everything you've ever been through, this lifetime and others. If you were to remember all of that right now, way too much. So your mind blocks it off. You forget about it. You don't think about it. It's compartmentalized until we're ready to deal with it. The only problem is it gets compartmentalized for so long that we forget it even exists, and it just shows up as tiredness in the body, as heaviness, as sadness, as anger, as an inability to create what we want in life. And we're like, why is it so much harder for me? It's because of all of the stuff that we've compartmentalized that's kind of collecting dust and weighing us down. So what do? We have to intentionally work into and release and clear the weight of that. And that can look a lot of different ways. It can look like healing your inner child. It can look like rapid energy clearing within the quantum realm, which I love doing because it's just so effective and so fast. But there's multiple components to this. And so it is an energetic process. It is a mental process, shifting our beliefs. Is a process of choosing something different, of choosing to move through the discomfort, even though this seems so cozy and familiar back here. It's choosing to create the life we want, choosing to do the things that are scary and uncomfortable because we know that's the way through. The only way out is through. And it's about moving through it. It doesn't mean you have to hang out in the pain and let it retrigger and reactivate you. It's not about that. It's about releasing and reintegrating parts of yourself and releasing the heaviness and denseness. And then as you do that, those things that weighed you down are lifted and you're able to naturally expand again. The ideas of what you're meant to be doing, the downloads, they can naturally come through because there's nothing blocking those messages from your higher self anymore. So it is your natural state to be a manifester. It is your natural state to create. Your body it's in its natural rhythm when it is in harmony. The body has an innate intelligence of how to heal when those things are lifted off of it. If you imagine that there's a big thorn in your side, your body's going to create pain and inflammation because it's trying to tell you we need to get this out. So the same kind of thing happens with energy. If there's some denseness, some grief that's been stuck in the lungs, you're going to be weighed down and your body's saying, hey, there's something that's not right here. So when we release that grief, we can breathe again. We have more energy again. We can move forward again because we feel safe. We have everything that we need right now in this moment. We can start creating. And so when you do that, it's not about grinding or pushing through the density. It's about dealing with it, like lifting that heavy jacket off of you so you can just skip forward, so you can move forward. Not that life is going to stop giving you challenges. That's just the way the world is here. But your ability to respond to them is going to be much different. And that's really what it's about. It's about becoming the energetic match for what you want to create, but doing it in a way that you're not fighting to do it tooth and nail, but you're healing and reintegrating and coming into a deeper sense of wholeness right here and now, so that is just the most natural response after that you are the energetic match for what your soul chose in this lifetime. Okay. Erica says, Jessica had a question earlier. What if you can't figure out what the root issue is? That's a really great question, Erica. So consciously, it can be really hard for the mind because it has compartmentalized things. Because the mind has kind of said, okay, we're not ready to deal with that. It's uncomfortable. We're going to lock it away, keep you safe, keep you up here, away from that. So that's still here, affecting our energy. And consciously, the mind's might have this thought where I don't know where that comes from. Who knows? But subconsciously, and everyone has the capacity to access their subconscious mind. There's ways of doing it through things like hypnosis, which is just being in a trance-like state, through certain kinds of meditation, through practice. Everyone has the capacity to access their subconscious mind, which has the memory of every experience you've ever had stored in it. You can access any memory. And when you have the intention, and I do this through guiding people through meditations, going through meditations myself when I want to access it. I've done this so much now that it's pretty easy for me to access my subconscious mind, but there's definitely specific techniques that we do to drop in. Journaling is another great way. When you are able to access your subconscious, you can definitely find the root. No problem. Everybody can. That awareness is within you. And you are ultimately the one who is able to find it. No one else can, but others can guide you to that place within yourself. It's absolutely there. And if you're someone who doesn't visualize, or you're guided back to seeing, maybe you're doing a kind of regression and you're being guided then through hypnosis back to a scene in your childhood and it's black. That means your subconscious mind doesn't want you to see that and you're just not ready to see that yet. That's okay. You don't need to see that. You don't always need to know what the root is. You don't need to understand something in order to release it. And I think this is something that is a trap that the mind can get caught in sometimes. It can be really nice and helpful to understand, and you absolutely have the capacity to. But maybe for whatever reason, it's not happening right now for a specific thing. That's okay. We don't need to stand under it and analyze it and figure out, okay, well, this must have happened for that. That's the mind. That can be a way the mind tries to process and understand, which is helpful, but it can also become the mind trying to control. I need to know all of the pieces. We don't need to know all of the pieces. We just need to have the decision to heal, the decision to let them go. And it's just kind of this accessing this sort of state of surrender with this, a bit of an energy of surrender, of feeling cared for, of feeling guided, and doing this with a guide. I definitely suggest doing this with a guide. Of, okay, I can feel the energy of what it is in my body. It's somewhere in my body, and I can feel the energy of it in my body. I'm going to choose to release this energy. I'm going to tell my body, I don't need you to do this anymore. This is not helpful anymore. We're letting this go. We're releasing this energy. We're releasing that energy. And it can be helpful as you do that, to release that energy, asking that part of your body, is there anything you want me to know? Is there anything you want me to learn from this? And you'll get an answer. And that can be helpful with that understanding process. That's all we really need. We don't necessarily need to know all of the how, what, and all the details around the root, but understanding what is the lesson in this? What is it that I need to know from this? And that can come from asking through a journey, or as you release that energy, that can just come to you naturally, because what's dense and stuck and not moving has been released. And as you're releasing that, the mind is processing it as the energy is shifting and letting go, and ahas will come to you. That will happen. Jessica says, what is the rapid quantum modality you spoke of? Okay, yeah. So when I talk about rapid and quantum, so the quantum realm is like an energetic realm. I like to call it the super consciousness. So we have our conscious mind, we have our subconscious mind. And I think of the super conscious mind is when we are accessing both and connecting with source or spirit or divine energy to help us, to be supported, because I don't do anything alone. I'm always working with my guides. I'm always working with spirit. You can think of this in that way for spiritual. If you're practical, you can think of it in a practical way. We're always breathing. We're being fed oxygen by the trees. Gravity is holding us where we need to be on the earth. We're always supported. So being in that energy of being supported, of not having to do it all yourself, which can be a lot about the egoic mind. So dropping into the quantum realm is really about consciously dropping into the subconscious and getting divine support and moving energy in this space. And what is that on a practical level? So when I guide people through meditations, through journeys where we close our eyes, we have some deep breaths, and then I guide through a visualization of connecting with the light, which is actually moving energy and light into your system, of anchoring to the earth. And then together we do some clearing. So it can look like, okay, all of the density in your body, everything causing and creating that, we're going to release it. We're going to imagine we're just pulling it out from the roots of wherever it began. We're going to clear it, and we're going to let white light dissolve it and wash it away, hand it over to the light. We're going to unstory it. So we're going to take away all the stories. We're going to send all the stories, all the way the mind, all the beliefs tied to it, all the attachments we had to it, all of the reasons we felt we needed it. We're going to send that into the light too, all the mental attachments. And we're going to do that from all time, space, realities, and ancestry lines. And so if you're following, you might be kind of dropping into this energy and feeling things shifting already. I can feel that. That's working in the quantum realm, working with energy, with spirit, with mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And so as we work in this space, we're able to shift and clear things very quickly. Yeah. And so the quantum realm, I call it, another way I call it is the super consciousness. So it's really working in the energetic realm, and is really quickly moving and shifting energy from the body, from the spirit, from the subconscious mind, from the beliefs, from your ancestry lines, from your timeline, from your DNA. And it's just moving it with intention, with a decision, because you are all powerful beings, incredibly powerful. And the biggest joke that we play on ourselves is believing that we're not. Believing that we don't have the power to change the things we want to change. You are all incredibly powerful manifestors. You're all incredibly spiritual beings. It's just simply a matter of releasing what's in the way of what you want to create, the energy that gets stuck, and healing and reintegrating any parts that have become fragmented from your whole of yourself, and healing, like the inner child, healing and reintegrating those parts. So, I have another sip of water. I'm talking a lot more than I normally talk. So the quantum realm is about working with your energy, with your intention, with deciding, your willingness to let things go, about connecting with energy, with spirit, with mind, conscious and subconscious, and shifting things from that place. And so this is a lot of what I do when I'm guiding people through clearings. It's a lot of what I do for myself. So if sometimes I like in the past, I have forgotten. I'm changing that habit. I'm not doing that anymore. But in the past, I have become unconscious at times. We all do. It's just an unconscious process. Unconscious to things happening in my life, unconscious to the fact that if there's something I'm trying to create and I'm having difficulty with it, that means there's an energetic block within me. Until I get to a point where, okay, maybe I wake up at 4 a.m. and my mind's showing me all of these things that I don't like, that I'm worried about. What am I going to do? All right, it's me and there's this energy. There's no distractions. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to release it. And so I start with just saying things like, okay, everything creating this heaviness, this density, delete all that. Okay, all of the energy of scarcity, release, clear, and unstory everything that is from all time, space, and realities. Okay, everywhere it's hard to change things, delete all that. Everywhere there's not enough, delete all that. Everywhere I don't know what to do next, delete all that. And so I will just often just say delete, delete, delete for the first 10 minutes because there's so much density that just needs to be cleared out. And then as you clear it, you're going to go deeper and deeper down into energetic layers in your being and in your subconscious with the decision to let it go. Release all of that is feeling the energy lifting off. So you just keep doing this again and again and again and again. And as I do this, things rapidly shift. My body has energy again. I have ideas for what I want to be doing next, what I want to be creating next. And it happens naturally because what has blocked me from my natural state, which is creating, expansion, lightness, ease, I've released those things. And now it's so much lighter and more joyful and fun and easier to create the world I want to create. So that's quantum. That's the rapid quantum shifting that I talk about. And so it is something that is a practice that the more you do it, the easier it will get. But it's also really effective when you do it with a guide because a lot of these patterns are unconscious and we don't often even realize that we're playing out an unconscious pattern. So we bring the subconscious to our conscious awareness. And that's where having a guide to help point out your blind spots can be very helpful. Awesome, Jess. Great question. Yeah. So, any other questions with this, just drop it in the chat, guys. I loved hearing your questions. Thank you for engaging today. It's always so exciting for me to like feel your energy and feel like your participation. I find like it's kind of like that leaning forward of like, yeah, I'm a part of this. And then we all get to share in that and we all get to grow because of that, which is beautiful. So thank you. And for anyone who is wanting support in this, I will be opening up a membership soon. It's been a while since I've done a membership, so I decided to take a break from that, and I wanted to kind of refocus, okay, what is the way that I can be of highest service and most potent and most focus in my offerings to people? And I decided membership that's going to be easily accessible to a lot of people and give you the ability to rapidly clear and move through these blocks is going to be the most effective thing that I can offer you right now. Because there's lots of exciting things that we can do, but I find like the most important thing is releasing the blocks right here and now that are weighing you down. For those who feel called to, for those who are wanting to manifest and create, but if you're coming into things like self-sabotage or just inaction, like I can't do the things I know I need to do. Like that is a fight or flight response, and that's just the energy. It can be paralyzing. I've definitely been in that a lot, and it sucks, but you don't have to stay in that. So for those who are wanting to move through those kinds of energies so that you can visualize, connect with your higher self, and create that in your reality with ease and flow and not grind and not get burnt out. If you want to choose a different path to grinding and burning out and pushing, then this is another option for you. So I'll be releasing that soon. It'll be opening up soon, but I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about it and give you a teaser into what I'm going to be focusing on. Yeah, Erica, so I'll talk a bit about it now, but I will be going into it I will be announcing it officially soon. So the membership is going to be something where we'll meet weekly, and that time will, I think it's going to be changing. I think I'm going to have a morning time and an evening time to match up with people in different time zones, because some of you are in Australia, some of you are Eastern, some of you are Pacific, some of you are in the UK. So there's going to be time zone friendly for multiple people. And it'll be weekly calls where we do that quantum healing and shifting and releasing, because that is just so valuable. And when you do it in a group space, I love doing this with you guys because it is so freaking magical, because all of our energy comes together collectively and we're shifting as this group. And so the potency of that is so strong. It's just even just what you're able to clear is so powerful, because we're all coming together and collectively creating this really powerful container that I get to guide you guys through. So we work with the subconscious, we work with the super conscious, we work with the conscious mind. So we do things like these really big, powerful, rapid clearing, and then we also do journaling. Like, what are you consciously taking from this, learning from this, doing next? And how are we breaking this down into action steps that you can take in your physical reality? Because that's part of it too, is manifesting is it's called the 80-20 trap. So something in manifesting where 80% is about your energy, about your frequency being your currency, your beliefs, what you're vibrating at, and 20% is action. And the trap is that most people think it's reverse, that 80% is action, 20% is your inner game. And so that's where the grinding and the burnout comes from. And so we're going to focus in the membership on 80% of the energy, being that energetic match, releasing what's blocking you from doing that, so it becomes much easier, and connecting with your higher self to visualize the life you want to create. And then the 20% is going to be, okay, what are the three things that I'm meant to be doing next? I know Sam asked, like, I don't know which thing to do next. So we're going to do journaling exercises on that together, so that you can, in that like super conscious space, get that download right away and know what you're meant to be doing next. So it's this blend of making the decision to move forward, doing the energetic work, the thought, the belief, the inner child pieces, the energy clearing parts, doing that part, which is a big part of it and really beautiful to do together. And then there's going to be journaling exercises, there's going to be visualization exercises, and there's going to be lots of pieces for you to consciously take what you experience in this world and bring it into your physical reality, so that you can take tangible steps, because that's part of it too. It's taking tangible steps to creating what you want. So that's what the membership is going to be focused on. And that a big part of it for a lot of people is around abundance. So that's definitely going to be a focus. So financial abundance, physical abundance of physical health and energy. So we are going to do things around working with your energy, working with your body to help your body heal. And then whatever it is you want to manifest and create. So maybe that is a career, maybe that is a relationship, maybe that is a healing center. You get to choose your own adventure with this. So we're going to have the support to release the blocks and to visualize and to create and take steps towards what you want. And what you want, that's your personal journey, that's your personal path. And so for a lot of people, financial abundance is a part of that. So that's definitely going to be something we're talking about. But then a lot of it is going to be open to what you want. So it's really about clearing the blocks between you and literally anything you want and everything you want. So yeah, so for those who are interested in the membership, when it is opened up, if you want to be on the wait list, just drop in the chat manifest, and I can add you to the wait list so that you get to be the first one to know when it opens up. And it will be this month for sure. I think it'll be next week. I don't have the exact date yet when I open it up, but yeah, I hope you guys can join. I'm really excited for this, and I'm excited to have something that is going to be accessible for I think just about everybody in this group. And it's a place where we can come together and do a lot of healing and shifting. And I'm excited to jump back into this. I've been doing my coach training, which has been amazing, and it's time to get started with the membership now. So any questions, just drop them in the chat, guys. I'm happy to talk to you as well. And I love how engaged you guys have been. It's so nice, again, sharing in your energy. Such a beautiful part of this. Awesome, Chris. Yay, Erica, Jessica, and Sam. Awesome. I'm so excited, guys. It's going to be fun. It is a lot of fun. I actually find a lot of joy in doing this, Jeff, and doing this kind of clearing work. because it is just like this incredible, I don't want to use the word shortcut because that sounds like we're not bypassing anything, but it's extremely efficient and it can be very beautiful and done with flow and ease and grace and beauty and spirit and divine consciousness. And it's like when you desire one thing, it's like, okay, maybe I want to manifest financial wealth. Great. But in the process of manifesting financial wealth, we're also releasing blocks that blocked us from feeling whole, feeling divine, feeling beautiful, feeling connected, energetic. So many other things come from a single intention. A single intention is just like the entry point, but then so much more comes from that. Awesome, Arena. Yay! I'm so excited, you guys. So, yeah, I'll be hopping on again next week and I'll be sharing more about it in the coming days. And if you have any questions, send me a DM. But I will add you guys to the waitlist for everyone who commented. So I'll just send you a message if I don't already have your email asking for it, and then I will add you to that. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your questions. And you're beautiful. Thank you for being on this earth and for all that you do. It is significant. You are significant, and your being here is very incredible and powerful and beautiful. And you all have the capacity to do what you've come here to do. Love you too, Jessica. All right, bye guys. Mwah. Talk to you later.